Hey, what's going on, you guys? Mr. Money 1235 back here yet again. Finally, back in the old apartment, back in the old space, back on an actual camera and not on an iPhone. And we're going to talk about how Damon Albarn is the biggest troll of all time. Okay, so we've been following this news so closely lately about how Gorillaz are probably coming back. And we were all expecting, oh, Damon's finally going back to do something that, you know, we all really want him to do. Sure, some people love the opera stuff that he's been doing. Dr. D, I was not a huge fan of it. Honestly, I was not a huge fan. If I had saw the show, I might have liked it better. I actually saw Monkey Journey to the West. I actually saw that show. So that made the music even better for me after I saw that, but I didn't see Dr. D. And the songs that he was performing, a little too operatic for me. Not to say that's a bad thing. The song Apple Carts was amazing. That was originally planned to be a Gorillaz song for Plastic Beach, but he used it for that. But anyway. So yeah, just this morning, out of nowhere, I was fully expecting not to see anything until this Gorillaz album. After Gorillaz, I imagine, you know, maybe Blur. Because it was like, you know, Damon has been denying it interview after interview after interview. I see that there's some kind of future there, but we're not ready to do things yet. That's the last thing that I've heard from Damon. You know, he's saying that, you know, there's some kind of future with Blur, but we're just not really ready to do anything yet, you know. And then, out of nowhere, new single, album coming out in like, what, March, April... January, February, March, 2 months? A full album dropping in 2 months? There's no kind of future. He was planning this shit from the beginning. I love him and I absolutely hate him right now. I hate him because he kept everybody in the dark about this whole thing, but I love him for dropping something totally unexpected and something that he knew everybody was really looking forward towards. And so, like, I've been listening to the song all day long. I got so pissed off that I started my new job today because all I wanted to do was come back home and make this video. But here it is, you know, 10:30 at night. I gotta get up bumfuck early again to go to my math class at school, but I'm making the time to talk about this shit because I haven't given you guys a legit video in a while. It's because of my crazy ass hectic schedule. But I have to talk about this. This is huge. We haven't had a Blur album since 2003, and Graham Coxon wasn't even a part of that album. I mean, we haven't had a Blur album that's part of the four-piece since 1999 with 13. So this is just incredible. You listen to this song, Go Out. You listen to this song, you can hear those Graham Coxon guitars. Oh my god, it so freaks me out. I'm hearing 1997 Blur in 2015. Those guitars are so Graham Coxon in this news track, and it just overjoys me to finally hear them again. You know, Think Tank was shy of that. Damon was playing all of the guitar parts for Think Tank. And while they were good, you could definitely tell that there was a lower quality in the guitar parts. They were a lot more simplistic. You know, you listen to the song like Crazy Beat or something like that off of Think Tank, and then it's just a repeating riff. You know, you can hear you can kind of hear it in Jets, how it's just a repeating kind of melody. You could definitely tell that there was a difference with Graham not being there on Think Tank. This is freaking me out. Okay, the song Go Out, when I first heard it, I was a little taken back. I didn't really like it because it was really, really weird. But after listening to the song a lot throughout the day, I've more and more fell in love with this track. It's definitely a grower. If you do not like it on initial listen, listen to it again and again and again and again. It will grow on you. What I have realized, though, in listening to this track, this is the Blur 21 box set. It contains everything that they've done. I mean, like, not everything. There's some tracks missing, but a large majority of the demo tracks are insane and stuff on here. But I've seen a whole lot of people talking about, like, this song and kind of what album or, like, what era of Blur it pertains to. I've seen a whole lot of people comparing it to 13. While I do think that this song Go Out is extremely experimental, you know, Blur have nowhere near been generic. And their entire discography albums have been different. You know, same a little bit for the first album where it was just kind of straight alternative, nothing really special. The next two albums were more Britpop, and then they got a concept album with Great Escape, and then they went really experimental on Self-Titled in 13. I really see that we're looking more into this era of Blur with the new album. I mean, like, the experimentation of the song Go Out, this new track, reminds me a lot of the Self-Titled album, which, honestly, this was one of my least favorite Blur albums back in the day. But I've grown to love this album now. The guitar tone especially reminds me of the song On Your Own off of this album. So, I mean, I think we're looking at a really experimental, really 1997 era Blur record here with this new album. And, like, the album itself, like, I love the title of this album, The Magic Whip. I think it's so cool. And the album cover as well, just the cover of this album is really intriguing. The neon lights with Chinese lettering. Just think about that album next to all of the main Blur albums. It's a totally different style for a totally new kind of like modern age, you know? Imagine all of these next to this black neon cover. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm saying. It's just it's kind of like a weird comparison almost. So anyway, I am point being, I am absolutely overjoyed. I am absolutely floored. I am stunned. I am honestly a little bit in disbelief. I feel like I should be like punching myself right now and thinking that there's a new Blur album finally on the way. After years and years of asking since 2003, it's finally here. In like 2 months. In 2 months. This isn't like some shit he put out and then it's going to come out like 6 months later. He trolled everybody. He trolled everybody. It's like, oh yeah, Gorillaz are coming. Gorillaz are coming. Get everybody thinking about Gorillaz. Boom. New Blur album. 2 fucking months. Deal with that shit. Just fucking ecstatic. Anyway, my thoughts on the album, that's kind of my feeling that I get with this record, is it's going to reflect a whole lot to the self-titled album. That's my gut feeling. But judging by some of the track titles on here, you know, I feel like it's going to be a really different type of record too. I feel like it's going to be a whole lot like self-titled with a little bit of a modern electronic flair. And we're seeing that a little bit on the track Go Out. I'm kind of rambling now, but I can't believe it. You know, the vocal melody on here is a little strange to be admitted, but my God, that is a catchy, memorable that's really catchy. Gets stuck in your head. The beat and the really, really loud guitars on this track is just so Graham Coxon, and I love hearing it again. Such a signature, classic, fucking late 90s Blur sound. Just, I can't believe I'm hearing it again in 2015. Oh my God. Contender Album of the Year? You bet you're looking ass! Oh my God. Okay. Tell me what you think. Do you agree with me down there below? When you hear this track, do you think of the self-titled album? Because it's just what it makes me think of. The experimentation in here. Just crazy. So yeah, new Blur, new Gorillaz. It's gonna be a huge fucking 2 years, man. Damon's finally coming back to do the thing that we've all been wanting him to do for years now, and it's just blowing my mind. Anyway, see you guys later. Tell me what you think.